Most people don't struggle to learn, they struggle to pay attention. And here's the painful truth. You don't have a bad memory. You just have a brain full of junk food. You scroll TikTok for 3 hours and wonder why you can't remember what you read in that book. You watch Netflix like it's a part-time job, and then complain that learning is hard. Let me tell you something that's going to sting a little. You're not slow. You're just distracted, undisciplined, and addicted to useless information. Today, I'm going to show you how to learn anything so fast it actually feels like you're cheating. But here's the warning. Once you know this, you'll have no excuse left for being average. A few years ago, I wanted to learn Spanish. I bought the books. I downloaded the apps. I watched a few YouTube tutorials. 3 weeks later, I knew how to say hello, goodbye, and where's the bathroom. That's it. I convinced myself I was just bad with languages. Then I met this guy at a coffee shop. He was fluent in Spanish after 3 months. 3 months! I asked him how. He looked at me and said, "You don't learn fast because you keep learning like a student. I learned fast because I started learning like a thief." That hit me so hard, I nearly spilled my latte. Here's what he meant, and here's the part you're probably not going to like. 1. Stop learning for the sake of learning. You sit there trying to cover everything like it's high school homework. That's not how your brain works in the real world. The brain doesn't remember general knowledge. It remembers relevant knowledge. If you try to learn everything, you'll remember nothing. Instead, learn like you're on a mission. Be a thief. Only steal the information you need to get your first win. Once you use it, it sticks. 2. Forget about being perfect. You want to understand it completely before you try. Big mistake. When you were a kid, you learned to speak without knowing grammar rules. You just copied sounds and tried until it worked. That's how the fastest learners operate. They learn just enough to try. They fail fast, they fix it, and repeat. Waiting to know enough before you start is like waiting for the ocean to get calm before you swim. It's never going to happen. 3. Your brain isn't a hard drive. It's a muscle. You keep cramming knowledge in your head thinking it'll save somewhere. No. If you don't use it, your brain throws it in the trash. That's why you forget 90% of what you read, because you don't do anything with it. The fastest way to remember is to teach it, even if you're teaching your dog, or your grandma, or an imaginary YouTube audience. Here's the shift that changes everything. Stop being a consumer of information and start being a creator with it. The moment you learn something, do something with it. Make it real. Use it in a conversation. Build something. Explain it to someone. The more you touch the information, the stickier it gets in your brain. And suddenly, learning feels effortless. You'll go from "I can't remember anything" to "Holy crap, I just learned this in 2 days." If this hit you, you know what to do. Subscribe to Lifternox. This is where you come to get the truth without the sugar. Drop a comment and tell me the one thing you've been putting off learning because you don't have time or you think you're too slow. Let's see how honest you can get. You don't have a learning problem. You have an action problem. Fix that, and you'll scare yourself with how fast you can grow.